right. Good morning, afternoon, whatever, to everyone. This is just another. Okay, I'm getting like. Okay, that's better. I was getting like a feedback or something. This is just another journal entry, basically. I'm doing these just to kind of like document for myself mostly, but I don't care at all about it being public. So if it's interesting to anybody, then you're welcome to watch, listen, and whatever you want. So this one probably took a little longer than I expected, and again, it's going to be mostly about dreams, and I've had other dreams since the last one that were vivid and big and everything, but time and then the thing about dreams, at least for me, is like it's really easy to forget them. So unless I catch it like on a good day where I have time to like make a video about it or something, then it's probably going to be forgotten. And then and even now the one I'm going to talk about today is already a lot has already slipped away. So, and that's from last night to this morning. So anyway, so this kind of dream, I don't know if I talked about it in the last video, but this kind of dream is what I usually call like a continuation dream or a sequel. Basically, like I'll have a dream of something, and sometimes like a week later or sometimes like years later, I'll have a dream that is a continuation of that first dream. And I'll like instantly recognize it, instantly know what it's a continuation from. It's almost as if like I experienced whatever that was like immediately. Like for example, let's say I have dream part 1 and then part 2 comes 2 years later. I'll remember part 1 like it was like it was straight into another episode or something like that. And what's interesting about that is sometimes the continuation dreams, they almost immediately follow. So like, let's say, just as an example, I've never had a dream about like eating, but like, let's say I was eating a burger and then 2 years later I have the dream and I'm finishing that burger or something like that. And it'll feel like, oh yeah, that this happened seconds ago. And I remember the burger and everything from the previous dream and so on. But there are other times where even in the time frame of the dream, it'll skip a lot of time as well. So for example, I've had a dream where I was doing something and then years later I had a continuation of that dream, but it was also years later, maybe even more years than the years between the dreams. So like, let's say a couple years later I had the continuation dream, but the dream itself was like 5 years after the first dream. I've never had it jump. Whoa, my camera just jumped. I've never had it jump where like, let's say, chronologically, like let's say I have a dream part 1 and then a part 2 that's like 5 years later. I've never had it go back in time in between those or further back. It is always chronologically later. So I don't know if that's interesting or means anything or just random, but that's my personal experience. I've never, it's only gone forward in time when it's a continuation dream. Not all my dreams are like that. I think I mentioned in the previous video about the other dream. I have normal dreams. I don't know what else to call them. Dreams where it's just like, oh, this just must be like my brain compiling a bunch of stuff throughout the day or the week or whatever and throwing them all together and giving me random stuff. I have those dreams too. I don't even remember most of those dreams, but occasionally I will, and I'm like, yeah, that was just a random dream, and I'll know that it just feels like that's all it was. I will also have dreams that feel like I'm in another universe or something. Sometimes it's more like a window where I'm like watching and I have no way of interacting with it, and other times it'll feel like I'm actually there and able to change what's happening. I've also had dreams that they feel more like the normal kind of dreams, but they almost have like a prophetic or psychic quality to it, like where it's maybe if I like think about it enough, I can decipher something like a warning or caution or I don't know. It's that one's hard to explain, and I don't have those very frequently, but I have had those. I'm trying to think because I know I didn't talk about all the kinds of dreams that I have last time. I talked about like I think 3 main ones. There's the the dreams where I've like talked to another version of myself. I think I talked about those last time. I've had like maybe 3 or 4 of those dreams where I've met another me, basically, in a different universe or time, probably another universe and time. I don't know. And there was one. I think I did talk about this on the last video, but there was one that's like okay. So the very first one of those that I had was my gosh. I put on like some background music, and now it's like going through ads, so it's annoying. Anyway, the very first one I had is memorable because it was the first one, but it was like me meeting another me that was kind of like in a like. Think like a movie like CIA where they take you into a room and interview you, like, and you're just like, where am I, like, what is this? And that one was probably I think the first one that I had where it was like another me. But another one that was really important for me was meeting, there was like a king version of me that was like a king of some kind of kingdom somewhere, and he seemed to know a lot, and I really wish he would have shared more, but he was a little bit stingy or mean. I don't know how to explain what he was. And yeah, even knowing that it was me, it's like I don't know how to refer to him other than third person, like him, like, because it's not me, all right, anyway, so all that aside, talking about the dream last night, I'm not going to go into too many details because some of it was NSFW in nature, and even though I don't remember like the details of that stuff anyway, and actually like I don't think there was anything in the dream itself that actually was NSFW, but it was probably about to be. But anyway, but I won't really talk about the events, more about the fact that it was a continuation dream. And okay, so this dream, like, and the only reason I even remember at this point the fact that there were 2 parts before it is the fact that I had this one recently, because I would never remember it out of nowhere, right? But like now I had the dream last night and I was like, shit, this was a continuation of that dream, which I remember that being a continuation of another one. So this is part 3, I guess, of this string of dreams, series. I don't know. So anyway, and I don't remember much about the first 2, but I remember in the very first one, I was in some kind of like complex, very dark and red colors, like the walls were red, and it was like kind of dim lighting, so like a lot of red and black, and even though it was so like, you may be thinking like, oh, demonic. No, like it was more like, think romantic red and black, like dim lights and stuff like that. But anyway, so there was like this, I don't know what it, like, think like a roller coaster track, like maybe at like those little kid festivals where they're like low and small. But like, I mean, you can ride on them. Like, they're big enough for you to get on and ride on them. So this complex had one at the entrance where you could get on and I think tour the whole thing. And I don't remember for sure, but I think I did tour it in the very first dream. I got it, and there's like lots of rooms, and they're themed rooms. Like, there was one that was like very like external looking, like you would almost think like you were outside. I know that it was internal, but there was like big boulders and rocks and plants and like little streams of water and creeks and flowers, and it was like a jungle theme that was inside of this facility. And it the little train thingy went through that, and it was almost like taking a tour of the entire complex. So I remember that room. I don't remember much else, but there was like a bathhouse type room, like a sauna, where there was like marble, like pool and like steam, and I don't remember much, like, to be honest. I know that there was like a bathy type area, and I know that there were many other rooms, but I don't remember those at all. I don't remember the events. I don't remember what I did. I don't remember who was with me, except for, I think, what's weird is I think James was with me in that first one, but I also think that I had this dream before I met James. But I'm not sure. Memory is really weird with that, so yeah, I know that this first dream was a very, very long time ago. Like, I was in the military still. And I met James towards the end of my military career. So I don't know that I had met him yet. And in fact, I think he was with me in the dream, but I didn't recognize him. Like, I knew that he was somebody important to me, but I didn't know who he was, like, when I woke up. And it wasn't enough to, like, when I did meet James, it wasn't enough to be like, oh, I've met you somewhere. Like, I didn't remember the dream when I met James or anything like that. So it wasn't until, like, the second dream, which I had definitely after I had met James, I was there with him, even though he wasn't actually with me. Like, we were both there in that world, let's say, or city. But he was elsewhere. So, like, he must have not wanted to, or like after we toured the complex or something, he must have not wanted to go to it. But I still wanted to investigate it or something. And I think in that dream, I remember talking to someone, like a front desk person, and that's about it. I think I ended up leaving, but I don't remember. But I know that there was a dream number 1 and a dream number 2. And now that I've had this dream, this was the third dream of this, series of dreams. So before I talk about that, there have been other series of dreams. It isn't just this one. Like, there's definitely one where I was in some kind of like rural place. I was in a house. I was part of this family. I don't remember much about that one. And there was definitely a continuation of that dream that happened like years later. Like, the continuation dream itself was like a couple weeks later, maybe a week later. But the time that had skipped in that specific series was like 5 or more years later. That was one that's the reason I even remember that one, because I was like, whoa, what the heck? Like, it was only a week later, in real lifetime. But this dream that I had, I was like 5 years later or more. So that was interesting. And there have been other series that I've had as well. I don't even know if I could say what is the maximum like I've gotten in a certain series, like 5 dreams or 10 or 2 or, well, obviously more than 2 because this one was 3. But so I don't know. I guess there's not a lot of information here, but I still want to talk about it and have it like somewhere that I can go back to and listen to. Anyway, so in this dream, which is number 3, part 3 of this series, I guess, James and I apparently, after leaving this, like, So the only reason I know it was a continuation dream is because for whatever reason, like I'm not at this complex anymore. The first two dreams, I was inside the complex the entire time. This dream, I was definitely outside of the complex. Now, I don't know if I was like right outside of the complex or somewhere else in like the city or town that it's in. I feel like maybe I was right outside the complex, but I don't know that for sure. But I know for sure that it was the place where that complex was. And that's really hard to explain and like prove that it's a continuation dream. It's like I don't have any way of saying like, oh yeah, I walked out of the complex and now I'm, in the city or whatever. Like, because that wasn't in the dream. I didn't dream that. The only thing I dreamed, the next thing I know is I'm outside in some city, but for some reason in my brain, I knew that this complex was in this city. As in, like, if I wanted to go to it, I could go to it. But yeah, so I don't know how much time had passed. It might have been like immediate, or it might have been like the next day or something. And I'm kind of leaning towards the next day, because we apparently, James and I apparently had met these two girls, women, who, it's just a guess, but I think that they might be lesbian. I think that they're probably lesbian, or at least they're very close. And I don't really remember what they look like either. But anyway, so throughout the night, we had already kind of gone our separate ways, and like James ended up going with one of them to somewhere, and I ended up staying with the other one, doing some stuff. So yeah, it had to have been another day, right? Or at least later enough in the day from the first. Anyway, so we had been drinking. I was not like drunk, but definitely like feeling it. I think James might have been a little further along. He wasn't there with me. So the way that this dream starts off, I'm just with one of those ladies. I don't know her name. I don't know who she is. I don't remember what she looks like, but I didn't recognize her as somebody in real life either. So this was somebody I met there in the dream. Yeah, so anyway, we're kind of talking about like where we want to go and where James and her friend might be, when out comes James from like right next door. So we're standing in this like parking lot type thing of some establishment, which could be that one complex. I don't know, probably not, but it could be. And next to it, there's this kind of like dive bar looking building. It's small, like very small. I don't know what you call it. Like there's overhang, like with a tarp and like wooden poles that hold it up, that are in front of the front door. The front door is just like a simple like wooden door, and it's just a simple white square building that's not very big. At least that's what it looks like on the outside. I did get to go in briefly, and I'll tell you about that. But anyway, so James comes out of there, but alone, not with the other girl. So he comes up and he's like, you can tell he's like very happy, like in bliss, like looks like he's a little tired, maybe even borderline exhausted. He's got either sweat or just humidity or something like on his shirt. I remember he was wearing a white button-up shirt. I don't remember what else he was wearing, but that part I remember being sweaty or wet for some reason. And he's like coming up and he's like, oh my god, that was so good, that was so amazing. And that's pretty unlike James, right? Unless he's decently drunk. Like he doesn't really talk like that, so that was interesting. But it matched if he's like drunk enough to talk that way. And so he was giving this place like hugely good reviews. It definitely, was like something sexy went on in there. So I was like, oh my gosh, I want to see what that's about. Like, I want to go. And so before I even tell him that, the girl that I was with, she's like, oh my god. So she goes in. to the establishment to go get her girlfriend. And so she goes in, and I'm like, well, I better go too. And James is like, go, I'm gonna sit right here and just relax until you're done. And I was like, okay. It was nice temperature out. Like, I was like, all right, everything seemed normal. Nothing seemed weird about that. So I'm like, all right. So here I go, and I walk into this establishment, and it has like a very so it's also kind of like dim lighting, but like smoky. Like there's either some smoky machines to give the little fog look into place, or it's just naturally that way. I don't know. And more like purple colors, violet, purple, no pink really, more purpley type colors, and also dark. And so I go in, and it is basically like a little dive bar in the front. There's like maybe like 5 like round tables with like 3 or 4 stool type chairs around those. There's like a bar with a big old liquor cabinet, multiple shelves, lots of drinks that I did not recognize. I didn't pay them that much attention, but like just remembering now, like I don't really recognize what was on that shelf. So I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think there was like anybody in this area though. Like not even the bartender. It felt empty. I could be wrong. Maybe there was a bartender or something, but it felt pretty empty. But it was pretty clear that the party is happening in this back room, right? So next to the bar, there's another like door. That door was white, and it looked like one of those like you push kind of swings, it kind of swings open. And like when I walked in, that door was still swinging a little bit, probably where the girl had gone to look for her girlfriend. And so I was about to go back there and see what was up. Before that, because that's when the dream ends. But before that, I definitely felt immediately in the atmosphere, there was like some kind of something in the air, like in the fog. I don't know, like ecstasy maybe. I don't know. It was something maybe chemical, maybe bio something. I don't know, but it was like a natural or unnatural, I don't know, aphrodisiac / energetic / like, I don't know. It just like you immediately start feeling like effects of like, okay, yeah, everything's good, and like I want love, and anyway, so and that's almost certainly what was going on in the back room. I'm not sure what it looks like back there. I didn't go back there. I definitely was going to go back there, but I woke up. One of my daughters woke me up, and that was the end of that dream. So I hope for a continuation, because I want to know what's back there. But yeah, I guess this one's a little shorter today. That's all it was. It made me think a little bit, like I feel like I've taken it for granted, like this my whole life. Like I've been having dreams like crazy, and I don't know that I've ever really valued it. It's just like when you have something that's just always been a part of you or with you or whatever, you kind of don't know that it's good or bad or whatever. It's just a part, right? It's just there. So now that I'm like older and like I've more experience and talked to more people and heard a lot more, and there's the internet, so you can see a lot more, and it's like, I guess like these dreams are not that common, or at least not so easily remembered. And for me, it's been wild. Like my life is already pretty crazy, filled with lots of experiences, adventures, and just lots of stuff. Like it's not just a simple life where I grew up and lived in the same house all my life and whatever. which has always been my dream, is actually to have that life, to just be like, I've always wanted just like a medium house with a medium family, with a medium salary and a medium average, mediocre, everything. That's just all I've wanted. Ever since I was a kid, that's what I've wanted. Just middle. I don't want to be super rich. I never wanted to be famous. I never wanted like, to be the best at anything. I just wanted to be in the middle. I also, of course, didn't want to be like at the bottom of anything, right? Just the middle. That's it. I was like, that's not too much to ask, right? Can I please have that? No, life didn't give me that. Like, maybe I'm in the middle somewhere, but it's a very dramatic middle. Like, it's not like a calm, peaceful middle that I wanted so much. It's a very dramatic and shaky middle. Where it's like, okay, well, you're going to be in the middle, but you're going to go through this, and that, and you're going to be this, and you're going to have to deal with all those things. But yeah, so my life on its own has already been a lot, but like I've kind of taken for granted that I also have these dreams they're kind of like other lives, like that I'm able to like experience and live in a way. I like to get I don't even know a place on earth that I would go to a place that has like what aromatized ecstasy, or this weird bathhouse complex jungle thing with like a train in it, like a little cart, like a roller coaster ride that goes through it. Yeah, and like I've met people and learned things. Oh, this reminds me. I had a dream recently, but I didn't have time to talk about it. This dream, I was in some kind of very like, what's the word? Aether-like place. Like it was very ethereal, and there was a song playing, and I had never heard the song ever. And it was so complex but beautiful at the same time, and I didn't know like what to think of it, but I just knew I had to try to remember that I had the dream. And I did remember that I had the dream, but I could never tell you what the song was or the music or anything like that. I just know that it was like incredible. It was a beautiful song, and there was like lots of instruments. Like there was guitar and drums and bass, and I mean that doesn't sound like all that much more than normal, but there was more. there were lots of instruments mixed in, and like different parts of the song, and like the chorus, and like I don't know that much about music, and that's what makes me like wonder about some of these dreams, because like it is definitely not a song that I've ever heard in my life, and I am awful at music. I don't know anything about it. Like how on earth could my brain just make a song to give it to me while I sleep? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, like this song was just whoa. And that's obvious. It's definitely not something I could create, even if I like spent years trying to study music. So like even the thought of it is just funny. Like there's no way. I'm not musically inclined like that. I can dance and I have rhythm. That's about it. I can't sing. I can't create. Like it's yeah. So how does my brain present that to me? Like I don't get it. So anyway, that's about it. So journal entry number 2. Bye.